All right, Eagles, it's Megan and Danielle from your Spa Performance team. Thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day to join us for this great webinar. Like you can see, we're going to be doing overcoming objections today. So this is going to be a huge tool for you guys in this kicking off the year strong and closing every red that you can, because we're in the business of making reds and we're in the business of closing memberships. So without further ado, me and Danielle are going to get started here. There's a couple things we want you to remember. Your staff needs to understand their opponent. Think of it as a game. You go in with a game plan. You watch film, you try to understand your opponent, the other team. What's their strategy going to be? What's your strategy going to be? The other thing we're going to go over is how there are different program pitch approaches. Are you going to go for full enrollment? Are you going to pitch a product bundle? You need to evaluate each prospective member on an individual basis and tailor your approach to their specific needs and wants out of what you can sell them. Then we're going to go over what an objection actually is. Get down to the brass tacks of it. We have a module for you guys. We have a cheat sheet on the objections. And then we're going to go over some strategies and tactics to keep them coming back, even if you don't originally close them the first appointment. We're going to define STS, which at this point between me and Danielle, you guys should know STS, but we'll go over it one more time. And then we're going to have some homework and action items until next week's webinar, which is going to be part 2, Advanced Overcoming Objections.
Okay, so as you've seen for the overview of today, Danielle here, by the way, as you've seen for the overview for today, some key factors to remember. When we think about overcoming objections, we immediately go into our readiness, as if we're not fully confident when we are actually performing the tour. We go through the guest greeting, we're walking them around, we're taking their concerns into consideration with that personal spa profile. We're walking them around. We're going through basically everything that we sell. But some key things to remember, and this is something for you guys to take down to your staff. And if you are a staff member, if you're a consultant, these key things for you to remember. And you guys know how much we love to tell you, write this down. So screenshots are good, but hopefully you have something to take notes with, and you can write these little things down and take back with you for training opportunities. But when you look at objections and overcoming them as a whole, it's almost like we're readying ourselves before, almost prematurely, as if we aren't sold ourselves. It's important to remember swell in this case, you guys. Smiling, welcoming, enthusiasm, and part of enthusiasm is partially what overcoming objections means, because we want to be sold ourselves. By the time we get to having to overcome objections, we're hoping we won't have to in the first place. And of course, learning name and listening to them in about 80% of the time of your tour should be just shutting up and letting them talk to you, right? And asking them questions when you need to speak. But before you go into a tour, a few things that you want to remember is controlling with questions to eliminate the possibility of even having an objection is key. Why is that? Because when we are not only building that relationship with a few little bullet points to remember in the back of our mind, what school do you go to? Oh, you said you go to, you take dance classes. Just curious, or out of curiosity, where do you go? Or you mentioned that you take yoga classes. Where do you, is there any place nearby that you go to? Seems like a talking piece, but what you're actually doing is asking a question to control being able to overcome an objection later by saying, I just don't think this is a good fit for me. Well, clearly you already go to a gym, and you mentioned that you go to Snap Fitness or Anytime Fitness or Gold's Gym. Obviously you want to take care of yourself, so this is a good fit for you. We're just trying to make sure that we can expedite those results so that you can see those results faster by using us in conjunction with that, right? So that's what we mean when we say controlling with questions. It's seeming to the customer that you're just building that relationship, which helps you close a membership as well, because people buy from who they like. So keep that in mind. Something pretty serious for you guys to recognize as well is that a little bit more than 60% of people who don't close, who don't say yes to that membership, they're not saying yes because of financial reasons, or they don't have enough time or commitment, or, whatever the other objections that we can list and go through and spend all day talking about. It's not really that objection. What's really happening is they don't see value is the true objection. And that's a little bit different of an objection to handle when you look at it in hindsight, because what you did a great job of probably is showcasing, hey, this, somebody came in and wanted to know about prices. Well, you showcased the heck out of your services. You talked about products. You gave them a great experience. You had them like you. You greeted them well. You looked presentable. Your spa looks clean and amazing. You did a great job with that probably. But what we forget at times is to remember to cover the membership benefits itself. It's so often that and so easy that we forget just how convenient and affordable our memberships are. I mean, at $59 a month to use services unlimited every month and on such an easy pay program where it just comes out of an account, and you can freeze it, you can transfer it, you have a one-time transfer, and you have an option to downgrade and freeze. The fact that we don't use a third-party collections, and we handle every individual member situation by case scenario to help them through things versus, scaring them off when they hear agreement in 24 months and they're freaking out. No, they don't close because they say, well, let me think about it. That's because in their mind, they don't know the specific benefits that we have to offer with that membership. So remember that and write that down to showcase, cover more of the membership itself, the benefits of the membership itself into your tour, incorporate it more in your tour, because the services will sell themselves. The products will sell themselves. They will deliver results when they're using it. You guys know how to sell yourselves out there because you all have great customer service skills. You provide a great experience. That's going to fall. Let the chips fall where they may with that. That will happen. Just remember to incorporate more of the membership itself and the benefits that come along and how easy it is for a member to to stay a member with you. And if anything were to come up in the future, that you'd be willing to work with their individual scenario. So those are just a few key factors we wanted to cover with you before we got started today. In the event that you find that you haven't really lately been covering any of those aspects and you've covered more so of the services, products, and the customer experience. So, your staff skill set. 1,001 times you will hear us talk about staffing as our number one. Heck, you've seen in our newsletter recently, you've heard on the Monday motivation calls that we're going to every month have 3 specific areas of focus company-wide, and staffing so far has been the last 2 months consistently number one area of focus. Why? Because all the money you're spending on your marketing dollars and all the money you might be spending on re-imaging your spa, getting a hot box, getting a new service, the key factor here is when we put money into that and we make those big investments, our main investment, our number one most important investment in these locations, in your location, is investing in the proper training, investing in the right staff. So we already know this. We've talked about this. This isn't a staffing webinar, but we need to talk about the skill set of your existing staff and understanding, can they hold a conversation? Can they critically think and figure out their quote-unquote opponents? In other words, the customer. Are they skilled in understanding the role and their role specifically and how to scan, almost like a scanner, scanning a consumer's personality, molding themselves into showcasing the value to that type of customer? You see here, if you're looking at the screen, there are 3 different types of consumers and different program pitches or program pitch to offer. Different techniques go for different people. You will not approach a tour and overcoming an objection for a customer walk-in that had no offer. Hey, I just drove by, I saw Planet Beach, I'm interested in knowing what it is. You're going to conduct that entire process completely different than that customer that you reached out to and you called and you booked at specific time for them to come in and redeem something that they're not expecting to pay for anything that day. And you don't want them to expect to have to pay for anything that day. You want them to be eager to ask you, how do I sign up by the end of that tour? And that's the goal there. So you're going to have completely different approaches, but ask yourselves this: are you and your team capable, and do you have the skill set to be able to understand their opponent? What type of personality are they? Are they interested more in a value? Are they interested more in saving a buck and getting the most from their buck? Or are they more interested in, I'll pay whatever if you show me what I'm getting for my money? If it means that you're going to have a robe and coffee available for me every day when I come in to use services, I'll pay $100 a month. Whereas that college student might say, hey, I'm currently using this place to manage my weight management goals or to get my tanning goals, right now, and I'm paying this much, but what do you have to offer me where I potentially paying $20 a month more if I come to you versus where I'm going now? Show me the money, show me the value in that. So those are a few things to keep in mind. And always remember, you can't fix stupid, not even with duct tape. And what we mean by that is, to be politically correct here, we're not saying you can't fix stupid as in people are stupid, but you cannot fix personality traits. So when we talk about evaluating your team and seeing are they even capable of being able to understand how to mold and almost mold themselves into being and knowing how to change their approaches into who they're talking to, if they're not capable of comprehending or doing that, it's a personality, it's a skill set, it's a trait that will be very difficult for you, almost impossible to train and fix because it's just who they are. So just know that you will be putting training hours in and almost burning yourselves out over things and over entities and things that you cannot control if they are not trainable people.
All right, guys, now we're going to go a little bit more into specific detail on the main objections you're going to see. The first is going to be financial. This is going to be the main one. Now, as Danielle's already said, when it's coming down to financial, you're not showing the value. You're not mentioning spa parties, birthday parties, guest privileges. You're not showing them everything that they get with this amazing membership program. You're not delivering the customer service, customer experience promise that they are waiting to get from you. So, for example, me and Danielle will do a little bit of role play for you guys. So, Danielle, I hear you. You love everything. It's $59 a month unlimited and your $99 enrollment fee. How do you want to pay today?
Well, Megan, I'm not too sure that that might be something that's feasible today just because I don't know that I have that kind of money.
Okay, well, can I ask you a little bit? You said you worked in the area at the local bank. Do y'all get paid like bi-weekly or once a month? Or how does that work for you guys, if I don't mean to be too personal?
No, no, that's fine. I mean, yeah, usually I just now left the mall, so I just spent a ton of money on myself already. So I might just come back next week.
Okay, well, how about this? One of the great benefits of working with us here at Planet Beach is that we do all of our billing in-house. So what we can do for you today is get you started. We can do your enrollment at a later date or break it up into a couple different payments for you. And I'll go ahead and prorate your first month's dues. So instead of paying $59 for this month, you'll pay our prorated dues. We'll go ahead and work that out for you. And you can come in on your next payday and handle your enrollment fee. I want to get you started today.
That was awesome. So hopefully you guys heard how Megan was able to overcome that financial objection. Now keep in mind there are a few things that you want to remember when it comes to working with every individual situation. Now, if you get a person that comes in and says, oh, I just spent all kind of money, I don't get paid till next week, whatever the case might be, work with them. Put a chart, place a balance on their account and notes and alert everything that you need to and write it down in your notes. There's communications binders in there in your spa. Whether or not you use them paper or if you have it digitally in there that you're using every day, but leave those notes and keep constant reminders. And guys, Google Calendars are your best friend. Have reminders sent to you to follow up with that member, but just do whatever it takes to be able to get them. And always remember that transition line. I don't want fill in the blank to be the reason you don't join and become a member with us today.
So the next objection we're going to look at is the spousal objection. And me and Danielle are going to reverse roles for this. But basically, it's, again, you're not showing the value, you're not showing the membership benefits, and they're not sold yet.
So, okay, Megan, so let's go ahead and get you set up on this today.
I really loved everything. The services were great, and I think my spray tan is going to come out great. I already have such great color. Me and my boyfriend just bought a house, and I don't know how he's going to feel about me adding on another bill for him. So let me go home and talk it over with him first. And can I, come in tomorrow and see, let you know? Because I don't, you know how men are.
I completely understand. That is exactly how my husband is, and I completely get it. I know you mentioned, Megan, didn't you say that for the house he just built that awesome man cave?
Yeah, it was so much work for him, and he actually got all this reclaimed wood and built his own little bar. So he's such a hard worker.
I bet he is. It sounds fun. You better invite me over for some parties. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. Here's what we can do for you. I see how much you're loving this service. You look amazing. Your color came out awesome. To be able to do that as much as you want every single day, I mean, really think about it. Now, what I told you the price was to get set up and get started here, and the commitment to be able to do this. What we can do is we can work with you. So if your husband or if your boyfriend actually is going to be a little bit weirded out by it, no worries. Why don't we do this today? Why don't we go ahead, get you set up? We can add him on. Now, hear me out. This is actually a really cool thing. A lot of people, most people in your situation have found this to be the most beneficial for them. We can get you started. To add him on, it's absolutely nothing. And he's got 30 days to love it or hate it. He can come in with you and see how to use the services because he just went through building that entire house. He's all stressed out because of his job. So this is going to be great. You guys can come in together, make it a little couples day. He can get massages, relax himself, at least for 30 days if anything. And then from there, if he decides that that's not something he wants him or you yourself to continue, then I'll tell you what, don't worry about it. There'll be no penalties. We can just get you out of it as long as it's before that 30 day. But him being added on, it's only going to be half of your $59. So actually, it's a really great, an amazing deal. And he's got time to do this with you. It's something to do together. And make a decision at that point.
That's so awesome. And that'll be a way for me to actually get him out of the man cave now.
Exactly. It's almost like, let's get you started, because I definitely don't want, this to be a reason why you don't become a member with us today. In the event you go home and he goes, why didn't you get that for yourself? So I don't want you to pass up on this deal. Let's just get you guys set up. And as soon as we're done with that, I can go ahead and actually schedule you guys' first appointment so you can go home and say, hey, babe, I got us some spa days.
That sounds awesome.
Great. All right. Let's go ahead and get you started right now, Megan.
Okay, guys. So the way that Danielle just handled that, she showed me the value. She broke it down for me numbers-wise. She gave me extra reasons why I shouldn't just join, but I should add my boyfriend. She found ways from talking with me and building that relationship. She referred back to those to control the sales process. Oh, didn't you say you guys just built that house? How stressful is that? This would be great for both of y'all. She came back and controlled my objection because she had already built up the control of it previously during the tour, building that relationship, asking those questions, and keeping those things in mind moving forward. The next objection you guys are going to get, and we all are moving into this age of even cell phones don't have contracts anymore, but the commitment in terms of the agreement. So you're going to have people that are uncomfortable with signing a year or 2 year agreement. Now, this is, again, you control with questions. Do you live in the area? Do you work in the area? How's your life set up? Like, are you a student in college, or are you starting a career, or are you a married housewife with 3 kids? You're going to be in the area for 2 years. It's not a worry. We always handle every situation case by case. You can transfer it. You can freeze it. You can downgrade. If anything comes up, we handle all of that in-house. So you can always come back to me, and I'll help you with it. So
all in all, when we talk about commitment in terms, and you might get the pushback of, wait, how long is it for? And we've all been there. Okay, how long is this for? How long is this for? First and foremost, write this down. If you say the word contract, put $1 in a swear jar, and I promise you, the rest of your team is going to follow. The word contract is a no-no word. We don't want to use that because that will resonate to them as something that you cannot get out of, something you cannot break without a huge fee involved. So be sure that your team understands when they get the question, okay, so how long is it for? What's the commitment? Make sure you combat with, okay, well, this is the great part, and this is what our members, we find that we'll use the feel, felt, found method. We found that most of our existing members who've been members now to date for years, originally that thought the same way and felt the same way you did, okay, and was concerned about the commitment and the terms, they're still members with us today because they've realized this is a month-to-month and it's convenient. This is a month-to-month program that we're going to set you on because let's face it, you came in here with weight loss goals. You came in here with skincare goals. Are you going to stop aging? No, you're never going to stop aging. Are you just going to one day wake up and go, I don't care about my appearance, I don't care about my weight, I'm just not going to care and I'm going to let myself go? Well, hopefully that'll never be the case. But looking at it all in all, this is a month to month, and this is the even better part about our membership, Miss Mary, is that we actually, if you stay with a member with us for up to at least 24 months or so, this price point will cut in half for you. So what you're laying out there is you're explaining to them that it is an easy pay program. It's month to month basically, and you're putting that and you're planting that seed in their head. But you're also telling them that if they stay a member with you for as long as 2 years or 24 months, that price could potentially cut, and they can actually get a permanent solution to a permanent problem at a fraction of even the $59. That is a great deal to be using these services. Now, this might be a good time to bring out a calculator as well and just make mention and say, if we have that loyalty program, let's just say that, and you can take $59 a month as well. Broken down per day, that's only pennies to the dollar per day to be able to utilize services that if you were to walk in off the street, pay $39 a pop for individually. Same for session goers. The sessions itself are very, very, they're priced the way that they are because we're trying to encourage them to become members with us. So if you break it down and pull out that calculator and help them see that visual, you can see that it's only like barely almost $2 a day just at $59. If they stay a member with you for a long enough period of time, having that cut in half, oh my goodness, just like $1 a day to be able to utilize unlimited services of tanning, spray tanning, teeth whitening, facials, skin imperfection treatments, weight management treatments, infrared heat, hot box, and all of the great things that we have to offer, not to mention products. So keep those little things in the back of your mind whenever it comes time to have to answer the question of, okay, how long? Don't be afraid to answer that. Just say it's month to month. And guess what? You stay a member with us for at least 24 months. That price point drops in half just as a thank you. And look, guess what? That potentially doesn't even have to be the case because with our ambassador program, you ultimately don't have to pay for it at all.
Like Danielle just said, commitment terms is a very easy one to overcome as long as you're using the right terminology. The next objection is very closely tied to this. You're going to have customers that are uncomfortable with the automatic billing, easy pay, ACH method that we are now using for our memberships. They're not going to like automatic billing. That's okay. We have people that are uncomfortable. You just met this person and we're asking them now for a checking account and a routing number. That's scary information to hand over in this day and age of technology. So, yes, it's a scary objection. But again, this is where you control with questions. You go ahead and you control with questions to begin with. So, do you have a membership at a gym near here? You do dance classes. How do you pay for those? Oh, you get paid bi-weekly as a direct deposit? These are things that people are already familiar with. So you're building up that rapport, you're building that trust relationship, and you're controlling the questions and eliminating the objection before it arises. So for instance, Danielle, I remember, you said you love the services, so let's go ahead and get you signed up. I know you work in the area. This would be great. You can come by a couple days a week. I'm just going to need from you a routing number and a checking account number. You can either and then a voided check. You can bring that in later. And if you don't have one on you now. But the way we do it is our Easy Pay program. It's automated every month through your checking account. That way you don't have to worry about it if anything happens with your debit card, etc. It doesn't work like that. It goes straight from your checking account. It's super easy and it's hassle-free for you. And that's why we do this. So did you have a voided check or did you want to bring it in next week?
To be honest, Megan, I don't even have checks. And also too, because I worked out at the gym, I actually have a free membership over there because I got burned really bad over there. They actually drafted my account like 4 times in 1 month. Ever since then, my husband was like, don't put anything on automatic billing. I couldn't even if I wanted to, but I really do want to get this membership. Do you guys sell, maybe I can just buy 1 session today.
You know what, Danielle? I totally understand what you're saying. I have had that problem too with my wine shipment. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't want this to be the reason that you don't sign up with us today because I don't want you to have to pay per session. It's not a great savings for you. And this membership is such a great deal. Let me explain this. Maybe I was unclear. That was my mistake. Everything we do is in-house. So all of our billing is all done through us. So if you don't want to do automatic billing, you can come in before the draft every month and pay it in cash on your debit card. However, we'll just keep your checking information on file in case you forget. And I can even set reminders to send to you every month. However we need to set this up, we're going to get this for you because Danielle, you work so hard and you've lost so much weight at the gym and you really deserve to treat yourself to this membership. I don't want this to be the reason you don't join us today.
Oh, okay. So you guys don't like report to like a credit bureau or anything? Like I'm not going to get harassing letters from the lawyer because that's what happened to me at the gym, and I'm telling you now, like that's fine. I could definitely do that if I can come in and pay cash for it.
Absolutely. Like I said, everything is in-house. We do it ourselves. You'll never go through a third-party agency for anything with us. I will actually be personally handling your account every month or one of my staff members. So anytime you have a problem, you just come straight to us and we'll find a way to work around it.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. So you guys see that there are ways around it. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this and hopefully you'll write this down. Is number one most important thing to remember when it comes time to discuss those who have been burnt. You cannot control when someone is that emotional. That's an emotional situation that you don't want to be an advocate of in chancing upsetting this person or chancing losing the sale by getting a little bit too personal. So what Megan did was perfect. Remember to bring those, that's what we talked about at the very beginning of this webinar. Remember to bring up the fact that we need to cover these benefits of Planet Beach memberships is that we do everything in-house and use life experiences. Write that down and take that with you. So in other words, most of our members that feel the way that you feel, we have so many members that will come in, at least a couple days before the first of each month, and they'll pay cash. The only reason that we need an account information at all is to be able to save this membership under your name in our system so that you can use the services and make you an actual member. That's the only reason we need that. How you choose to pay, completely up to you. And even better, I'll go a step further and say you get laid off, God forbid, or something happens financially, you have some financial situations that come up that weren't expected. Don't worry, you don't have to freak out and cancel your membership. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us, our spa director, Amy. Just say, listen, Amy, what most of our members do now, they do this with her and she deals with it every day. Amy, look, my check was short. My car broke down last week. I had to pay a bunch of money. Is it okay if you hold off on charging my car till next week? We do that. So if any of these things are reasons that you're kind of having a little bit of anxiety towards becoming a member with us, I want to relieve that anxiety from you now. And remember, your approach is everything. If I'm speaking to you in a specific manner that's still a little bit guarded for them, if you feel you're having this conversation with them and you're feeling like they're not listening and they're closing up, use mannerisms and tones in your voice. It's key that they know this. This goes back to staff skill set. In other words, here's an example. Oh, Megan, I'm so sorry. No, listen, in some cases, you may know the person. Listen, girl, no, I don't want you to feel anxious. I apologize. The last thing I want to do is make you feel like this is something that's going to haunt you and come back and bite you in the butt. We don't want you to have to worry. Don't worry about that. A lot of our members that have felt this way, this is what they've done, and we hear it all the time. They'll call us. They come in every day. They talk to us. We enjoy hearing from our members, and you know what? They know that they can feel comfortable. They feel confident to know that they can come to us and we will accommodate them, and they don't have to give up having this luxury and having these services and using Planet Beach the way that they do. So hopefully you guys took a little bit from that. We also have this available on Orion for you as well, as you see on the screen. Overcoming Objections cheat sheet. All you need to do is type it in the search bar. It should pop up for you. And it's a detailed training with a few scripts on how to overcome them in detail. So if you're planning on having a specific training with your staff to increase your closing percentage, definitely go pull that up and use that as a guideline for yourself as well. Continue.
All right, guys, if you don't close the member, this is the most important part to remember. And this, again, goes back to staffing because you need the staff that doesn't stress over not closing a member. What you need to do is find a way to buy yourself time. You obviously didn't show the value well enough. Maybe your approach was off. Approach is everything. Maybe you didn't build that relationship enough to where the customer's comfortable handing over their information to you and signing up today. Or maybe they're not desiring it enough yet. What you need to do is buy yourself time. Sell them something, a single session. Expand whatever campaign you have going on. For example, last month it was 12 days of spa. Before that, Black Friday specials, whatever we might have had going on, you can always extend these campaigns. Any free day of spa can immediately be turned into a 3-day guest pass, a week guest pass, however much time you need for them to be sold.
And there's always a buy it back opportunity for all customer types. So we talked about the different customer types as well. It's important to remember before resorting into going in, and not everybody's going to be qualified to be an EFT member. You may not be able to overcome that objection of the billing, the automatic billing. That's okay, because you know what? As long as you sell the STS, as long as you sell them something, whether it's a session, 10 sessions, a paid in full, maybe they like to buy things paid in full, you're still buying that time that Megan was talking about. Don't look at it as a failure, because whenever they're buying something, that's a promise that they're coming back again for you to have another opportunity to showcase that value, to sell them. I mean, there's always a campaign, quote unquote, going on that you can extend their free trial a few days to a week. That's something huge to remember. Humans are creatures of habit, so get them addicted to repitch later where they just can't say no to you. This is a staff skill set example, again, going back to that. If for any reason you can't sell individual paid in full sessions, if you can't find anything to buy back and implement towards it, if it's a financial objection, don't freak out. It's not a failure. It's only a failure if they walk out of there and they only think that you have memberships and they didn't know that they can buy something else temporarily for the next time that they come into your spa, because what you're doing there is you're making it to where, okay, no worries, you know what, but as a thank you, let's say you couldn't sell a thing. You couldn't even get a session sold. As a thank you for you coming in today, Miss Mary, what I want to do is, because we're having a huge brand awareness campaign going on right now, maybe we're under new ownership, we're reimaging, we got this new service going on, whatever the case might be, I'm able to give you an entire week membership. And I'm doing that for everybody coming in, just checking us out, just as a thank you for stopping by, because we're trying to spread the word. We need as much word of mouth as possible to get the brand awareness out there. So I'm excited to give you this 1-week membership. And guess what? Set them up on a week of services, because what are you doing there? You're getting them coming back again and again and again and again. And on that 4th or 5th day, you can go to them and go, Miss Mary, listen, I was able and I got it approved when you were in your services. I just got an approval through my manager that I can buy back what you didn't even buy. You didn't even purchase this 1-week membership. You look amazing. You look so relaxed. You got this great color. Maybe they were using the facial, their skin. They look and they feel better about themselves. At that point, they're a little bit more hooked than they were the first time they visited you, because it's like we always like to use, especially Megan and I, it's like you want to look at it as a first date when someone comes in. You go on a first date with somebody, you're not necessarily picking out rings before you pay in the bill, are you? You wouldn't expect somebody to propose to you. You're not expecting to marry this person. You only met them one time. You maybe got a little taste of their personality when you're at dinner or at a movie. So you don't really know this person, but you got the gist of who they are. It's the same with a membership presentation. They're coming in, you're showcasing your benefits, of course. You're showing them what you have. You're talking about the membership, and then you're going, great, now let's commit. Let's get married. I mean, most of the time, that's why they're backing off. They're like, whoa, we live in a commitment phobe time and era, unfortunately, and they're everywhere. So consumers nowadays are just programmed to be that way, and it's important that we remember that. So guys, this is actually part 1, and we just talked about selling them something. I'm sorry, we just talked about selling them something. In the case of STS, you might have seen this on your dashboard. And on Spa Intel, but selling them something is huge, because remember that the membership cash is still a revenue category. Don't just let them walk out. Worst case scenario, you bring in a couple of extra bucks instantly instead of setting up a higher net EFT. And again, it's not a failure if you sell 1 or 3 months or 6 months paid in full or a bundle of sessions. Another big thing that's worked in a lot of top spas is they'll pitch and sell a year or 2 years membership paid in full, and they'll do a cost breakdown. They'll say, let's go ahead today and get you set up on, we'll break it down in 2 or 3 installments. Today we can go ahead and do X amount of dollars, and then, you said on your next payday, you'll be able to come and square away the balance to that. So keep that in mind as well for financial. We're going to go into more detail for financial objections, by the way, next Wednesday for the part 2 of this. That's going to really break down how to overcome what we stated in the beginning of this webinar, which was they really saw no value to it. So it's more of like an advanced overcoming objections training. This was the basics, and hopefully you got a couple of things out of that.
And again, I just want to touch on, because this is so important to me, sell them something. If it's a eye mask while they're in the services, whatever it might be, because you're selling them, when you're selling a membership, you're not just selling them a membership. You're selling them a customer experience promise. Every time they come in, they'll get that complimentary spa water. You'll have their fresh towels and robes in their service rooms. You'll walk them from service to service. You'll know what products and services to pair. You'll track their goals and results. Sell them something, but mainly sell them the promise of the customer service experience. So when you're selling them something, even if it's a take-home product, they're going to go home, they're going to look at the Planet Beach PB Glow Pro lotion that they're using to maintain their color from the spray tan you gave them, and they're going to go, wow, this color's great. I think I might go back in. You're buying, they're selling, they're buying from you, but what you're buying from them is time and a return visit. So selling them something is so key to you being able to, down the line, show them more value and get them signed up.
Exactly. And don't forget, guys, referrals. One thing that we wanted to leave you with today, other than what you see on your screen, those key factors to remember, these preliminary and very important preliminary factors of being able to control with questions through your tour to avoid even having objections. You guys should want your staff to feel like, and say this in your training, I want you to go into a tour not to expect an objection. Feel shocked if you get an objection, because that should showcase you as a training opportunity. This is a training moment. I didn't cover something somewhere that showed value. So have those questions answered immediately when you're going through those tours, when you're finding out who they are, getting to know them, remembering that most of the time it's value, and it's 60% of the time people are not closing due to the fact that you're not showing the value to the membership itself. And also the pitch sheets that you can find on Orion do cover those benefits in the event that you need to find out, well, Danielle, Megan, what are those exact those values that you're talking about to this membership. So keep those important things in mind. And staff, remember, you cannot fix stupid. Remember this. This is a recap. You can't fix stupid, meaning if it's a personality trait, if they're introverts, they're not necessarily meaning stupid, but if they're just a personality type that you cannot train, don't try to train them. You will burn yourself out, and that's not something anybody has time to do, right? Is repeating yourself. You don't want to do that. That's a management thing. So all in all, be sure that you go to Orion in the Spa Performance and Education and Membership Information Sales Process. Watch all of those videos. We have video examples, if you've not seen this before, on overcoming every specific objection. Now, that's actually your homework before next Wednesday. So if you guys are serious and you're on these webinars and getting better and getting stronger for 2016, maybe you're new, and you're getting on here to learn how to overcome common objections, before you attend next Wednesday's webinar, go in here as you see the example on the screen that'll conduct you through Orion. These are the folders. You click Spa Performance, go into the membership information folder, then the sales process, and overcoming objections. There's like, 12, 10, a million of them. I can't even remember. And they're examples for you to do. And have that done before next Wednesday so that you are able to follow along and understand what we're talking about next Wednesday for that webinar. So without further ado, I do want to thank you, Megan and I, for sticking it out with us.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. And for my franchisees that did call in, or my spa directors, if you feel like, your closing percentages are really high, but there's somewhere to improve and you're not quite sure where, I would always recommend you guys call family and friends you have that aren't already members that your staff doesn't know. Send them into Secret Shop. Give them a guest pass. Send them into Secret Shop. See how your staff is asking for the sale. See how your staff is doing their tour. That's the best way to pinpoint where you need to have those training moments with your staff. That can be another homework for you guys, is this month, somewhere down the line, have some secret shoppers, family, friends, give them free guest passes, free services, whatever it takes. Get some people in there and get a real life evaluation, because we know that role playing is very easy. You just heard me and Danielle do it. And role playing is to get you comfortable with it. Role playing is tell, show, do. But when it comes to the do, sometimes when we're not in the spa watching as spa directors or franchisees, things can slip through the cracks. So the easiest way to find where we need to have these training moments for next week is going to be using secret shoppers.
Yeah, I'm glad Megan brought that up, guys. That's super, super important. Role play is what our top spas do. You should be role playing every chance that you have. If you need guidance on how do I send, well, what do I tell somebody when I ask them to go into the store to secret shop? If you need guidance, we do have a mystery shop program with a mystery shop questionnaire in Orion in the Spa Performance folder as well. You can get that there. And also, don't forget a very important tool. Hopefully you write this down and you take it back with you. Those guest registers, guys. Those things are not just a liability tool. Managers and franchisees, for those of you who are, hopefully all of you are, but for those of you who stay on top of using a brand new sheet every single day and you're recording the visit, go into the previous week, month, 2 months, all of those, wherever you're saving your previous guest registers where people signed in, call the people who didn't sign up. That's a perfect way for you to know exactly what went wrong, to be able to help you and guide you on how to train and move forward. Let's say I pulled yesterday's guest register and I see 4 people showed up, only 1 person bought a membership. Me as the spa director, I'll give those 3 people who didn't become members, I'll give them a call. And it's going to seemingly be like a courtesy call. Hi, I'm the spa director. I'm the manager here at Planet Beach. I wanted to call you personally and thank you for stopping by. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming in and checking us out. As a thank you, I'd like to go ahead and extend a 1-week free membership. Just because we are going through some changes, a brand awareness campaign. We are making huge changes. We just want to get the word out there that we are an automated spa that offers an array of different spa services along with our tanning, and not just tanning anymore. So first and foremost, I'd love to invite you back in. We want to give you a week as well as an opportunity to give somebody else that for you to come in with for the next week. I'm duplicating my efforts there, guys. That's a Reds training moment that you just got, so write that down. Then also, I'm going to flip and I'm going to find out just why they didn't become a member. And right there will be where it unveils to you as the manager, as the leader, as the franchisee, why consultant A, who took that person, wasn't able to close that. In other words, ask them questions like, we want to extend this offer, blah, blah, blah. Was there anything that you think, any feedback from me, anything that I need to know about your experience? Was the consultant accommodating enough for you? Did she offer you the new program, the new membership price point that is on special right now? It's the Get Started special. Did she do these things? And at that time, they'll say, you'll know if they even asked for the sale in the first place or just let them use stuff and leave. Oh, well, she never told me about that. Or, yeah, she talked to me about it, but, I told her I'd get back with her because my husband was right there. I can write that down in my notes as a manager to get with that consultant specifically and train her on how to overcome that objection. So that's another tool that you can use in the meantime as well before next Wednesday, along with sending friends and family that your staff does not know to secret shop and find out for you.
All right, guys, I think we've sent you guys a great plan of action. Like we said, all the resources you need are in Orion. There's videos, there's cheat sheets, there's modules. Anything you guys need, it's in Orion. You have your homework. Go kick butt the rest of this week. We'll see you guys next Wednesday for part 2. And we can't wait to talk to you guys.
And as always, don't forget to be awesome. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.